Hi, I'm Roy.
This is Roy. The Stanford walk-on has been making waves in the YouTube basketball scene the last several weeks. Despite averaging less than 1 point per game at Stanford, he's currently undefeated in ones, with some impressive wins against Cash Nasty, the Crash Dummy Guy, and Uncle Scoob. This begs the question, who will be able to stop this man? In this video, I will be scouting the strengths and weaknesses in his one-on-one game with the goal of helping out his next opponent. If he pays attention, he might be able to avoid ending up like this guy.
Let's go.
For this video, I analyzed 8 of Roy's one-on-one games. He had 3 against some Caltech guy, 2 against Kenny, and 1 against Cash, Crash, and Scoob. And in these games, one thing in particular stood out. He has, without question, the best jumper out of anyone I've scouted so far. Across the 8 games, Roy shot 65% from 3, making over 4 threes per game. That is ridiculous for a one-on-one setting, especially playing with limited dribbles. His ability to shoot means that you cannot give him any space at all on the perimeter. If you're gonna sag off like this, you're gonna get blown out. He also extends well beyond the 3-point line. I think he took Scoob by surprise with his range here. He does a good job here of eliminating space and forcing Roy to put the ball on the floor, which is easier said than done. Off the dribble, Roy keeps things pretty simple. He's perfectly content jab stepping and pump faking you to death until he gets an opening, whether that's an open jumper or an angle to the rim. His jab step is effective because he has a quick first step. Watch how quickly he leaves Cash in the dust here off the rip through. And if you back up at all off the jab, he gets what he wants in an open 3.
Oh my gosh.
His pump fake is also effective given his shooting ability, so defenders are really in no man's land once he gets going. What's great about Roy's one-on-one game is that he rarely takes bad shots. Most of his looks are either threes or layups, and it's difficult to bait him into heavily contested shots. In summary, his efficiency and shot selection help separate him from a lot of the guys I've scouted recently.
Oh my God!
One strength I do want to quickly mention is his ability to play through contact. After beating Kenny, I did wonder how he'd fare against a more physical defender, but he showed no signs of weakness against Cash and Scoob. Even when Scoob started hacking towards the end of the game, he never complained or called a foul. I would suspect that some of the bigger guards like Nas and Moon would try to bully him and see how he'd react, but honestly I think he'll handle it well. On his game-winning shot, he was blatantly fouled on the 3 and made it anyway, so at least on offense, he proved to me that he can handle an aggressive defender despite his size. On defense, Roy can hold his own on the perimeter. From the top of the key, he does a good job of keeping a hand up and contesting the 3, which is more than enough to slow guys like Cash down. And he does a great job of closing out on guys after they pick up their dribble. Watch how aggressively Roy closes out on Scoob here. This is a tough shot to make for anyone, even for Scoob. He also does a good job of moving his feet and cutting off lanes to the basket, and in a 3-dribble setting, he plays great positional defense. However, Roy's defense is dubious once you get closer to the paint. He simply doesn't have the size to absorb contact well on drives, and bigger guys are able to easily bump him out the way for open looks. And while he did show some fight while getting posted up, there's really only so much he can do at 170 pounds. And while Scoob and Cash ended up missing some open looks in the paint, I have a hard time envisioning him guarding someone like Friga barreling his way to the rim. Nevertheless, it's very impressive that he was able to play at the D1 level in spite of his limitations. And as far as guys his size go, I'd probably take him over all the guys on the next chapter.
Oh my gosh!
Overall, I have Roy pretty high up on my one-on-one tier list on the all-YouTube first team. It's pretty early on in his YouTube career, but he's already beat some elite guys, and I think he'd smoke everyone on the all-YouTube second team given the chance. I would love to see him match up with Moon. I think it would be a close one, and their contrasting playstyles would make for a very entertaining game. As I mentioned earlier, I predict his win streak will come to an end if he ends up playing Frigga, Nas, or Rob, as his lack of size will eventually be exploited. I do hope he gets to fulfill his dream and play Flight, and I also hope he competes with some of the next chapter guys in the future. But let me know what you guys think about Roy's game, and comment below who I should scout next.